Hello, welcome to Storytime with Katie. I'm Katie. For those of you who don't know me, I am the Stables Operations Coordinator here at camp, and that is a very long title that basically means I look after 40 horses and about 15 head of cattle. So I'm in charge of their care and maintenance. They're all doing pretty good right now. Most of the horses are on spring break out at pasture, getting rested up for summer, and then we have a handful of old horses here at camp that need a little extra love. So, well, on to story time. When I was younger, I used to be afraid of the dark. Sometimes still am afraid of the dark, like when I've been watching Dateline and then I have to go walk my dog before we go to bed. And as we're walking in the dark of night, he stops and stares intently at something in the woods with every fiber of his being on edge, and then bolts for the house, and then I go with him and we kind of run to the house in a panic. It's kind of my cardio every week, but yeah, scary. So anyway, when I was a kid, one time my dad asked me to go out to the car and get a notebook for him that he'd left there. And I was like, sure, because I like to be helpful. So I went out to the entryway and I looked out the little window in the door and I saw that it was pitch black outside. It was one of those overcast nights with no moon or stars, and we didn't have a yard light. And if I had wanted to find a flashlight, it would have had dead batteries because my family is not prepared for any emergencies ever. And so I had to screw up my courage to go out there. And after a little bit, I managed it, and I groped my way to the car. And as I grabbed the door handle, I heard the most horrifying screech, and that did it. I just ran for the house, and I think I broke some land speed records getting there, and I took 3 steps in one leap and shouldered my way through the door and slammed it shut and leaned against it, gasping for air, and my heart was just hammering out of my chest. And took me a little bit to pull myself together, and I finally did, and had to go tell my dad that I had failed at this rather simple task that he had given me. And I go in the kitchen and I say, "Oh, I didn't get your notebook. It was dark and there was a scary noise." And he said, "Oh, well, what if I go with you?" And he stood up and took my hand and he went outside with me. And that time I wasn't nearly as scared, and nothing had really changed, right? It was still pitch black out. The unknown monster was still out there, but this time I was with my dad, someone I trusted, and I knew he was bigger and stronger than any scary thing. And turns out later that the scary monster was actually just some guinea hens, which can be scary on their own, but not as scary as I thought they were. And it got me to thinking that right now we're living in some pretty dark times, some scary times. And I just want to ask if you remember who you're walking with, that God promised that He would never leave us or forsake us, that even though this world would be full of darkness and hard times and trials, that He is a light in the darkness. And Psalm 56, 3 and 4 says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you, in God whose word I praise. I put my trust in you, and I am not afraid." And I think that is an active thing, putting your trust in God. It's not passive. It's not just saying words. It's laying all of your cares and burdens and worries at His feet and saying, "Walk with me, because I do not have this on my own." And the beautiful thing is that God says, "I've been with you the whole time." So anyway, this has been Storytime with Katie.